I decided to take a walk a little earlier today. So, this video is going to be about narcissists and their relationships, right? And this goes for all relationships and the reality of these relationships, right? There's a pattern that goes on dealing with any narcissist, whether it be your children, nieces, nephews, whomever they are. Sometimes you got parents that's actually using the kids, right? For whatever reason. So there's so many different dynamics, right? So this is the pattern of the giver-taker relationship. It's not an exchange relationship. It's a give and somebody else takes. The empathetic person's giving, they're taking. So the dynamics of the relationship is, once that narcissist thinks they found new supply, they ditch and discard, cut a major form of the communication, right? But I don't care who is doing it. When you help a narcissist, it feels good while you're helping them, when you're setting them up for things, getting them prepared for major activities in their life or major situations. Some parents, they pay thousands and thousands. I mean, a parent can pay $100,000 for the child's tuition, school funding, and for their college, right? And that child can grow up, graduate from college, and never speak to the parents that paid for their college education, okay? And I meant to add on the word education when I said college earlier, right? But it's a form of abuse when somebody does that. So it can be a situation where you've put in some legwork to get some enrollment done. I mean, you're trying to get this child of yours into college, or niece or nephew, whomever you're paying for college for, an adopted child, male or female. And there's the process in this pattern that's consistent throughout the relationship. And the pattern is, they will be extremely nice to you, or kind of charming as they can be, while they're asking for what they want, right? But once they get what they want, the person can be even so cold to, if they see you at the location, imagine this. You've paid for this child's college education, right? You come up to the college to visit the child or see them, and they see you and quickly walk away like they're running from you. Or you call the college to speak to them, and when the college front desk or whomever answers the phone lets them know who's on the phone, they refuse to talk. So this is a pattern that has to be broken. And I personally, I have never paid that much for anybody's college tuition or college expenses, right? But I have gone through this cycle with narcissists and sociopaths that I have provided for during my life, right? And one of the most hardest things that I had to do, but actually once I did it, brought me to a great level of freedom, right? Is I had to accept the pattern and accept that this person does not love me or care anything about me. I don't care if it's somebody I gave birth to or not, right? Some of you, it will happen when you pay child support. Okay, granted, I mean, the courts sometimes make bad deals with visitation and stuff. However, if I'm your child and I know that you've paid $50,000, $100,000, that's gonna mean something to me, right? So I'm just gonna give you a piece of advice for how I dealt with it in my life. I didn't care who it was in my life that did that to me. Probably the only person I would have maybe completely accepted it from, if they had lived long enough, would be my mom. However, she was not that type of person. She never asked me for a dime. Okay, she was not a beggar. She was not, I mean, and I don't mean it like that, but my mom was very independent. She handled her own bills. She didn't really need me or my sister or my brother or any of my other siblings, brothers and sisters, for anything, right? So what I've had to do in my life, it will be one of the hardest things sometimes when you do stop the giving, right? You have to realize the pattern, because it's an abuse cycle. You're giving, you're disrespected. The love bombing or the charming period, and yes, you can be love bombed when you're somebody's parent, auntie, uncle, dad, mom. You can absolutely be love bombed, right? When you're seeing the pattern, they don't like you, they don't talk to you, they talk to you crazy when they don't need anything from you. But they become sort of nice, sort of okay, not always really nice when they need something. They show up at your door when they need something. You suddenly get a call when they need something. And I don't care who they are. In my life, these were the most damaging spirits. And you got to remember this. Those type of attachments are very unhealthy and very, I don't know how you feel about self-esteem, but it's very lowering to your self-esteem. Wow, this morning walk feels good, y'all. You know, I always do my night walks, but this morning walk is just wonderful. And so it's just no good. I mean, you're in an abusive relationship. It's costly. So what you got to do is you got to stop the giving. Just stop the pattern. I mean, I was in a situation where it was an amount of money I was supposed to send. The Lord told me, don't send that person nothing. Leave them alone. And you got to especially be cautious of these situations when these are not loans. Because that money you could be stacking away for a rainy day. And you're going to find that you're going to grow older and older with less and less money. Because you're giving it away to these narcissists. Recognize this pattern. And it's a pattern also that involves them not giving you anything. And when I say anything, a lot of times the people that are doing this to you, love bombing you and being nice to you when they want something, and then rude and mean and dumping you off when they don't need anything, right? Much of the time, they don't even give you something as simple as a phone call. Okay, you got to remember, you've been discarded already. So you got to accept the discard because they're a user, and you got to come up with the strength to stop helping them. It will hurt. I mean, because you got parents that it happens to, right? And they'll go up to these colleges and they pay for these kids' colleges. And the kids have gone no contact. And they'll see their parents and just walk away from them. The student could be in high school, college, or whatever facility that they're in, that they're a student. I'm not talking about a middle schooler. Someone that's of age. Sorry about this noise, y'all. Sorry about this noise. Somebody that's of age, that's old enough to realize that they are using you. And yes, a high schooler knows that they're using you. They know that they're using you, and then they're abusing you during the times when you're not giving. Remember, when you're giving, you're going through a respite period. So that's actually a nice break. You're getting a break with communicating, and then also what you're doing, you're buying love. And that's something that you shouldn't have to buy. That's something that comes from someone's soul, and there's no cost for love. Believe it or not. You know, there's no cost for it. It's free. People that love you, most of the people that I can say for sure that love me or care about my well-being, there's not much money exchange. I mean, there may be times where we've helped each other out in some way, but there's no money exchange. They're just available to talk, hang out, send me a social media message if needed. I mean, they're just genuinely loving. I mean, they're the most genuine relationships because they just call you just to talk. They're not calling you for money. When you see them on the streets, they're not going to walk past you and not speak. They're consistently friendly and kind. I mean, and these people, they may not be overdoing it with the I love yous. You understand? They may not be doing that. But they are consistent, and there's not a lot of arguing and debating. So with these other patterns, where it's the just give and take relationship, and it's only going good when you're giving, with those relationships, it's nothing genuine. I mean, a lot of times you're not hanging out, you're not talking on the phone. This is somebody that's really not in your life except just to take. So you got to find a way to accept. Once you stop giving in these type of relationships, they will completely go away. So, I mean, it just will happen, and it's, it will hurt for, I would say 6 months is a reasonable time to get over grieving over a loss of a human being. A reasonable period of time, 6 months. Your brain does a lot of its own healing. And I'm talking about without medication. You know, people are so quick to go out and get some mind control pills, what I call them. And I'm not downgrading it if that's what you feel like you have to do. But really, I was watching a ministry many, many years ago, right? And the minister was saying normal grieving and depression oftentimes heals itself within 6 months. And I believe that too. I believe it because I've experienced it. Just a normal grieving period, right? So hopefully this helps. And you can begin to understand the value of this lesson. And I am going to go on in the home. And please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Hopefully this makes sense. Recognize these patterns. Get out of them so you can experience freedom and peace. Okay? Thank you. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.